Good afternoon, everybody. Before I begin, a few housekeeping rules. If you could ensure that you're on mute while a speaker is speaking, that'd be much appreciated. This session is being recorded and will be posted on the Knowledge Hub in a few days. If you do have any concerns regarding this, please do email the team. Please feel free to use the chat box to ask any questions as we go along. So welcome to the first session of the new Integrated Pest and Disease Management Network. The Tyfu Cymru, working with ADAS, have identified that the availability of conventional plant protection products has declined in recent years, and with many being withdrawn, the need to introduce a new and sustainable approach is what is needed. Understanding and implementing a full IPDM system can be quite daunting. So this network will help support you to look at the whole picture, as it's not just about the selection and the use of the control agents or beneficials. Thought must be given to the programme itself. What crops that need to have a planned approach? What are the pests to be controlled? And when is the optimum time and conditions to apply? The rate of application and what pesticides are used or have been applied recently. These are all questions that need to be considered and addressed in advance. These monthly Zoom sessions are designed to help you on your IPDM journey. The idea is to support and encourage peer-to-peer learning, enabling success stories to be shared and challenges to be solved collectively. Alongside these monthly sessions, we have David Talbot and Chris Creed to help support you individually as the need arises. We can arrange one-to-one Zoom calls or face-to-face visits. We would like to develop a WhatsApp group and use a Facebook page to keep the network connected. And we would encourage you to reach out and interact to enhance the network. So I'd like to introduce you all to David Talbot, who will be giving a further introduction to the network and the importance of an IPDM management system. And then we will split into ornamental and edible breakout rooms to look at each sector's approach in more detail. These breakout rooms will not be recorded. So over to you, David.
Thanks, Sarah. Right, we've got a short PowerPoint to start off with. I'm just trying to share my screen. Here we are. Okay. So, smart utilization of the integrated pest and disease management system. So today we're sort of thinking about, are you making the best use of the bioprotectants and biocontrol agents that are available to contribute to pest and disease control within your business? Just a bit of an introduction. Bioprotectants is a relatively new phrase that encompasses both biopesticides and biocontrol. So it's a new name for biopesticides, so that's the term we're using going forward. So thinking about why this is all of this is important. I'm sure most of you are aware that there are less conventional spray options to control pest and disease within ornamental crops, and this trend will continue going forward. We don't have many new actives coming through the regulatory system, again a trend that's set to continue, and this places more reliance on the remaining actives that we have available to us, which gives us concerns over pesticide resistance developing, because if you keep using the same product again and again and again, you're likely to get resistance developing both within diseases and pest populations. Most of the products we're using these days are through EAMUs, which stands for Extension of Authorization for Minor Use. There are some on-label products, but with these EAMUs, there are restrictions on use, and this normally relates to operator safety, and this can manifest itself in the way of handling intervals. So an interval, a set number of days where the crop can't be handled for post-treatment, or there is a requirement to wear gloves of a specific grade to handle the crop within that set time post-spraying. And for edible growers, this normally is as a harvest interval, so a number of days where the crop can't be picked or sold following treatment, which can be a challenge. And the main message here is that we have few silver bullets for control when things get out of control, really. So we need to take a more proactive approach going forwards. So the general direction of travel is increasingly less conventional options available to control pests and diseases going forward. Therefore, we have to place greater emphasis on bioprotectants and biocontrols in the future. Now, most bioprotectants are very compatible with biological controls, so the two work very nicely hand in hand. And when well managed, integrated pest disease management can and does work very well. So we'd like you to all make use of this network to change and improve your approach to disease control where necessary. So the final slide, just getting the best from integrated pest and disease management. Regular crop monitoring is key. You really need to have your finger on the button and know what's going on within your crop. So crops need to be monitored at least weekly, and try not to just do it weekly. Whenever you're in the crop, even if you're checking for watering and you've already done your weekly crop walk, have it in the back of your mind to keep your eyes open. Are there any pests, diseases coming up that you need to be thinking to take action against? So we're working with a planned approach to prevent pests and diseases, whether that's through the use of sprayable bioprotectants or introduced biological controls, or a combination of the two. And a key message really is to react swiftly to nip problems in the bud before they develop and get out of hand, and that makes control much easier. As I've said before, just re-emphasize the point, bioprotectants and biocontrols generally work very well together. And another real benefit that we've noticed in numerous crops where integrated pest management is used, where people aren't using persistent pyrethroid type products, like Hallmark, for instance, we're getting a noticeable benefit that naturally occurring predators actually come into the crop and contribute to pest control. So things like lacewings, ladybirds, parasitic wasps, even parasites that lay their eggs inside caterpillars. If you're using pyrethroid insecticide, those persistent residues, although they don't affect all pests, they will prevent these natural predators coming in and helping us with the job. Now, that said, they won't do the job on their own, but they definitely contribute to control. So we're glad to have them helping us along. Okay, so I'm just going to move to another document now. Bear with me. So here we have a spray program for disease prevention and control that can be used in protected and outdoor ornamental crops. So just a short comment on that before we start. Most products these days have restrictions on their use, as I said. So some products are just for outdoor use. Some products are just for use under permanent protection with full enclosure, and some are for both. So in this spray program, we've put it together using products that can be used outdoors under protection with full enclosure and just general protection, such as a polytunnel. That hopefully makes life a bit simpler, particularly for smaller growers who struggle to use products up before the final use date comes around, when they've got lots of different products for different situations. So few products you'll undoubtedly be familiar with, but also some newer ones that you may not. So first one of note is a product called PhytoSave, which is an elicitor, which helps makes plants stronger and prevent the occurrence of disease. It sort of switches on host defense mechanisms. So it's a new approach first to these types of products. Another comment on some of the products in here, we have got conventional fungicides tar pesticides. Now, this Phytosave, although it's in the lister, it's still registered as a pesticide, and some of the bioprotectants in here are also registered as pesticides, and that's a conscious decision because they've been through an efficacy testing program as part of their registrations. They've been proven to work. There are a lot of products out there that may have a beneficial effect to crops, but it's not quantified, and these are sometimes referred to as sort of muck and magic type products. So we've got Phytosave here interspersed with conventional insecticides for the first few spray applications. Now, this spray program's looking to control the key diseases that occur in a range of ornamental crops. So powdery downy mildews, rusts are the key targets. You'll also have some activity against bacterial diseases. So moving down this spray program, after a Phytosave, which is interspersed with conventional fungicides, we start to see Serenade featuring. That's a strain of Bacillus, bioprotectant, and it's been about for quite a few years. It's proven itself to work pretty well and is widely used. Just a point about this, it can grow at lower temperatures below 15 degrees, but its optimum is between 21 and 35 degrees. So hence its placement a bit further down the spray program as the growing season progresses, where temperatures will be warmer, and that'll better facilitate its growth and establishment. And these types of products partly work by outcompeting the pathogens for space on the leaf. They grow over the leaf and create like a barrier. So it's important we've got optimum conditions for them to do that. So we've got, I think, 6 Serenade applications here, which is the maximum we can use interspersed with conventional fungicides. And then we move on to a product called Amylo X, which is another strain of Bacillus, but in the AHDB funded AMBER project. Now, AMBER is an acronym for Application and Management of Biopesticides for Efficacy. It was found that Serenade and Amylo X could potentially compete on the crop, so it's thought best to separate them out in the program and block their applications together, as we are here, interspersing them with conventional fungicides. So we've got the 6 applications of Amylo X following on there. This program, I think there are 42 spray applications listed here, so it should give you plenty to go at for the growing season and the year. Spray intervals is a question that sometimes pops up. So typically every fortnight, but it depends on the crop. If it's a very susceptible crop like roses, people normally spray weekly during the growing season. And if you choose to spray fortnightly and you start to see a bit more disease occurring, or you feel that disease pressure is increasing, you can close that spray window down to every sort of 7 to 10 days and manage things like that. If you do get a bad outbreak of powdery mildew, for instance, sticking to the program may not be the best plan. There may be a need to deviate from it and go in with an eradicant or move the applications about to get the best result. And that's something we can help you with. So do engage the network. There's going to be a WhatsApp support group as well. So you can tap into extra information whenever you need it, really. So do make use of that. So that's the program in a nutshell. Also, if people aren't familiar with extensions of authorization for EAMUs, abbreviated here after Signum, for instance, these are a document that growers must legally have either a paper copy or an electronic copy saved on their computer to use products under these extensions of authorizations for minor use. They are available from the HSE Pesticides website, and if anyone struggles to download those, get in touch and we can point you in the right direction. They're useful to have and essential because they contain extra information relating to application and maximum number of applications, maximum rate, etc. So engage the network, look forward to working with you, and look forward to seeing you at the next session, which will be on biological controls, which is on the 14th of April.
Thanks very much, David, for a really informative meeting. Like David said, we really do want, the network to be a success, and for that to happen, we look for you to engage, and we can arrange one-to-ones with David Talbot or Chris Creed if it's the edibles. So that just leaves me to say thank you very much for attending. The presentation will be uploaded onto the Knowledge Hub, and we'll see you all on the 14th of April. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.